got a saying in real estate, don't lever anything you're unwilling to lose. In this case, the leverage is the business. Don't get business involved if you're not willing to lose the relationship. Today we are talking about how to structure the perfect partnership.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Christian, this is Cody, and here we go. Today we are talking about those partnerships. We've learned a lot about a lot. We've had bad partnerships, bad mentors. We've avoided some bad ones. We've gotten into some situations where we wish we had a different set of partners.
We've also had some really good partnerships.
We've had
this
some
partnership
excellent ones.
Has been excellent. We've had a couple other partnerships that have been excellent, but not all of them go that way. And through the process, we've made a lot of decisions that have determined the rules that we now play the game by.
And so we're going to share all those with you here today, or at least a good deal of them. If we talked about all of them, we'll be here for several hours, and we will save that for one of our Whiteboard Wednesday lives, 3 p.m. Pacific. However,
On Wednesday,
yes. When we are running a partnership, one of the first things that we look for is for the goals to align. A lot of people want to partner with buddies, partner with people over a basic idea. What you really need to do is sit down and determine what exactly do you want to accomplish. Until you figure out what the exact purpose of the partnership is, there's no way that you can possibly structure it correctly.
As soon as you figure out the goals of what you want to go out and accomplish, it could be retiring a loved one, it could be going out and buying a fancy car. Understand that there is a cost associated with that, whether you're trying to retire someone or you're trying to do something that is more materialistic. No matter what you want to do, if you want to give money away, there's a cost to it. So you should figure out what is it going to take to get there. If all you want to do, if your goal is to just go out and you want to be able to get an extra $1,000 a month because that'll allow you to go on one extra trip a year, then you may need a duplex. But if your partner's goal and your goal is, I want to be able to take care of wife and or kids and or husband, it could be anybody, there's probably going to be more of a higher goal that you're going to have to set. For us, it was 100 apartments. And because we both had a goal of retiring my mom, retiring his wife, there was a very similar cost there. It allowed us to push very hard for a sustained amount of time until we hit that target.
And that's an example of a fantastic partnership because we set those parameters. Now, times where we've had partnerships that didn't work right are when the goals didn't align. For example, we had one deal where we did with, it was actually one of my friends, and we're going to talk more about friends and family later in this video, so do stay tuned because we have thoughts. But it was one partner who wanted to be as passive as possible, and we didn't really dive into what passivity looked like for them. And so when we set this up, they were a majority owner, and the expectation was that we would assist with the management because we were more experienced. That's as far as we got in planning, though. We'll assist, we'll all own together, you'll be the bigger owner, and we'll go in and do this project together. What happened is the one person who wanted to be passive did exactly that.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Shouldn't have been surprising, but it was early in our career, and we found that their expectations was, I thought you were just going to handle absolutely everything. I'm like,
they had one job and it wasn't done.
Yeah, not as a minority owner. As one of the smaller owners of the LLC, when they own 50% or more of the LLC, doing all of the work from one party isn't exactly even, especially when everyone put in an even contribution of money, or at least proportional contribution of money. When you're setting these up, those goals have to align. One person wants to exit, make as much as possible, and do absolutely nothing. The other two expect to hold an asset forever and cash flow it and run it as a team. Since that didn't happen, expectations were missed. We had a lot of just frustration through the partnership. End result, we're fixing up the property and we're probably going to offload it, and we hate selling.
Now, a baseline for all of your partnerships, regardless of where you're starting, do not go into business with someone that can afford to bury you. And it doesn't just mean someone that's a little bigger. We're talking about astronomically bigger than you. After the $10 million mark, everybody can afford the same attorneys. But if you're worth $100,000 or $1,000, don't go partnering with someone that's worth a few $1,000,000. They will destroy you in court if push comes to shove.
And we see too many examples, especially in this industry, of much wealthier players taking advantage of new players to the game. They come in, they buy their first few properties. We just saw this with one of our friends. I'm not going to drop any hints on who it is, but one of our friends bought a few single-family properties. They partnered with someone who was a much, they didn't have more money, but they had a lot more experience in the industry. They tried to take all the properties from them. Now, they got absolutely thwomped in court.
Because we helped them get through it.
And we happen to be...
a little bigger fish than them.
Yeah. But if you don't have a bigger fish in your corner, that is a consistent problem where on both sides, one partner was bigger than the other. They could have caused a lot of damage. That other partner had a bigger friend to come in until you hit, and again, I think you nailed that number, until you hit about $10 million of net worth.
Paying you money. It's not just like you have cash in the bank, but that's $10 million invested paying dividends.
Mm-hmm. Then everyone can pretty much afford the same playing field until you get into the the $1 billion mark. I'm sure there's some other tricks they can play. But you want to be in a relatively similar area to your partner. When Cody and I started, this is a perfect example. We had almost the same net worth. I had a little teeny bit more, but I was heavier in cash and he was heavier in real estate. We had about the same net worth. I was trying to get more real estate. Cody was working on a plan to get a little bit more liquid. So we took the pieces that we have, we put them together, but neither of us was in a financial position to burn the other person significantly. And that's really important.
And we have a little delta today. I think I have a little more real estate equity than you because I have an asset you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got more cash than me.
Yes, I do.
And at this point, the little delta that we have is insignificant in relationship to the amount of zeros on the actual assets that we control.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to try and keep that in check as you go through your partnerships.
Yep, that is an absolutely critical one. Going back to the main things, because those are the first two I think of, but the one that comes up all the time, and we've learned this, is family and friends. Now, I've never invested with family. I'm not a huge fan of it.
Just say no.
Yeah, just say no. The reason being is it will change your relationship. Now, I've seen friends partner, and it made their relationship way stronger. I've seen friends partner, and their relationship got absolutely destroyed. In fact, I see that more often than I see them work. That being said, the only constant is they always change when you add money. Now, you might notice, Cody and I are friends. However, why can we do that, Cody?
We didn't start as friends.
We started as business partners. Money doesn't change our relationship because money has always been a part of our relationship.
It's been the core of everything that we did.
Mm-hmm.
If we couldn't have retired his wife in 11 months, if we couldn't have found a path to do that, we wouldn't have worked together. That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm. Our businesses have accounts that we share. We have a joint personal account that we can send money to. We are financially tied. We have together... I need to do the math again, but it'll be somewhere in the $13 million-ish of debt that we're tied to in obligations. There is a whole lot of real estate that we are tied on. As we scale, nothing really changes because while we are friends, money's always been part of the equation. If you have a friendship that you value, that money has never been a significant aspect of,
don't change the relationship.
Unless you're willing to change or lose that relationship.
We've got a saying in real estate, don't lever anything you're unwilling to lose. In this case, the leverage is the business. Don't get business involved if you're not willing to lose the relationship.
I want to share one more story before we wrap up today, because this is the first lesson we learned in all the partnerships, and I really wish that everyone will hear this. That first point, the goals. When you are learning the goals, another big miss we had is we brought 3 investors into our 38-plex. 38-plex did amazingly, by the way. That was our first deal ever together, and it made over $1 million.
I wish we could do more of those deals.
Yes. Either the best, possibly second best deal we've ever done. Financially, definitely the best, because it's also the most mature deal. However, one of those investors had the goal, opposite of our other problem, he wanted to be more active. Something you want to think about in your partnerships, you need to know who is the actual managing members and who's going to be a passive. If you have some capital partners, the phrase is too many cooks in the kitchen. If everyone's trying to determine the direction of the asset, you pull in too many directions and nothing gets done, or you do everything and you way overspend and you get a hodgepodge of overimproved property. You need to know who is doing what role in every single LLC or partnership that you do. We did not define that on our first deal because we didn't know better. It is the only partner who we've ever invested with who asked to take their money out and do a whole different deal with someone else. We didn't have to, but we did cash them out, and we're still friends with them today. We're actually very great friends with them today.
I talked with them for 30 minutes today.
But the partnership failed as partners because we didn't do a good enough job of asking the question, what do we want to do as a partnership, and what is everyone's individual roles within the partnership?
Yep. So to sum it up, make sure that you've aligned the goals. You have to do that, bottom line, and make sure you're sticking to those targets throughout the life of the partnership. It's one thing to have good goals in the beginning that match up, but if those change, make sure you're having those conversations throughout your partnership as it progresses. Also, make sure you're not partnering with people that are incredibly bigger or smaller than you. Don't be that person that goes and swoops in and tries to steal people's deals.
Yeah, that is absolutely no good. No good at all. And then the last one, friends and family. Not worth partnering with unless you are willing to materially change the nature of your relationship with that person. Generally speaking, I advise everyone not to do it.
Just say no. Just say no.
And our last point there is the roles.
Absolutely. When it comes down to roles and goals, make sure that people are doing what they want to do. If they're not having fun, they're not going to stick around. And if they're not around, it's hard to have a good partnership. So don't violate these 4 things. Just say no to family. Don't partner with people that are way bigger than you. Identify your goals and your roles. And if you do those 4 things, you're going to be better off than those who don't. Also, if you want to be better off than those who don't, hit the like button, the subscribe button, check the link down below for a free course, and we'll see you next time.